Catfish Johnny's Restaurant, serving the Lake Pennsauken and surrounding areas since 1990. For the last 33 years, we have strived to serve great food at great prices and a friendly, casual atmosphere. If seafood isn't your thing, our burgers or wings are the best around. We have daily specials too. Check us out on Facebook or Instagram for more information. All right, welcome back to another edition of the Goblay Show. I'm your host, Billy Goble, and today we have a special guest. I met him last year this time out in Wyoming. He was our guide, our wildlife guide. That might be his official title. We'll ask him in a minute, but welcome. I just want to welcome Bo Welden. Bo, welcome to the show, buddy. The old saying is perception is not reality. Reality is reality. Mm-hmm. So people think, oh, this is how it is, but they don't really know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? It's like I said with the duck. Oh yeah, that duck is not real. I'm like, what are you talking about? It just swam in the water, popped up, and it was walking. It walked off. Where are the wires? Where's all the hydraulics system?
Yeah, that duck would cost like tens of thousands of dollars to get technology to look that good. Interesting.
Yeah, birds in the show. Oh, that's fake. No, that's a real bird, man. He's got to. I mean, take it for what it's worth, but I mean, I know it's just a bird, but it is a real thing. So that's what I'm saying. Like I think people get lost in that little. I don't know. I don't want to say fantasy world, but distinguishing what's real and what's not. I mean, so I feel like they have to get out of the car and come on, kids, let's walk toward this 2,000-pound moose. God, it's like the one at the Country Bear Jamboree. That's like,
well, the rub with all that too is that you get one, you get socially validated online. By some sort of algorithm. And then two, sometimes there is a social validation in the moment because it's like, all right, well, that guy's that close and she's that close and this and this and this. And then eventually it's just like, well, I guess we can be really close. Yeah. A couple of years ago, I was kind of doing some scouting for a trip. Right. So I just stayed like 30 minutes ahead of them the whole time and just like something here, something there, whatever. And came around a corner, there were like 3-4 cars pulled over, and I was just like, this is kind of funny. Walked into the woods where I saw someone walk out of, mother grizzly and 2 cubs, and people are like 60 yards. And my first question for all of them was, how many of you have bear spray? 0. Just like, and the problem with it is that that momentary decision in that visit can have cascading effects. Yes. Of like, well, that mother bear could make a decision as a bear. And if the bear does something that's just bear behavior and the person was being a dummy, then the Park Service will say, that person was just a dummy. We're not going to do anything to the bear. The bear is just being a bear with put in that scenario. But if you have this like continual pressure and exposure, that's not what we're supposed to be doing. Then you'll lose like what is so special, like, being out here of like, oh my God, that is a wild animal and they get to do whatever they want to do. And how cool it is that there are places where they just still get to do their thing. Cause like we've taken over a lot, which is what it is, what it is. Right. Like how neat is that? Like it still exists in its original equation in these areas. So that's where, like, I don't know if I was telling you all this, but like if bears get really close to the road and are like aggressive and managers need them to leave, they will use beanbag guns to fire at the animal. That's a good punch. They're going to feel that and they're going to like hightail it out. Right. I would be okay if people started getting really close to bears or moose or bison. They were hit with a beanbag gun. We wouldn't do it again. We are a very patterned Pavlovian animal. So it's like, you know what? Gosh, last time I got really close to that bison, boom, this big thing came and stuck me in my ass. I bet you wouldn't do it again. I bet you wouldn't. You know what I mean? It just feels like it can be that simple. I know that's an extreme measure, but sometimes it feels like that frustrating because it's like the literature says it. Everybody's saying it. Just like, come on, get your poop in a group here. Let's figure this out.
Well, you're talking about the grizzly earlier. My first question would have been, how fast can you run? Because I mean, you're going to need to run if it comes down to that. Where, you know what I mean?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're slower than a bear every time.
It reminds me on that movie Without a Paddle. Have you ever seen that?
Oh yeah.
And he's like, what are you taking your shoes off for?
He's like, shoes off.
Matthew Lillard. He's like, you can't outrun that bear. He goes, I don't need to outrun the bear. I just need to outrun you.
Yeah, I can run faster with my shoes off.
Yeah. He's like, what are you doing? You can't outrun that bear. I don't need to. Just need to outrun you. So, I mean, you're talking about your photography. Or we're talking about your photography. I look at it all the time on Instagram. You have some really great shots that people want to check you out on Instagram and get those up and close. I mean, you get really close. I mean, I don't think
it helps that I have a Swarovski optic that we are their field partner in North America that costs $8,000.
Yeah. That does help.
Yeah, this part is the cheap part, as compared to that glass. So that's what can be like. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know if this will show up, but like today I was, looking at let's see, bighorn sheep, and I'm looking at this bighorn sheep from 150 yards.
Yep.
And it looks like I'm standing. That looks 3 feet from him.
Yeah. That's some Nat Geo stuff right there, bro.
But it's just on my phone.
It's crazy.
I don't have a camera. I don't have a big lens, which you see a lot out here. I just have that technology, which takes longer to set up. It's not quite as adaptable. But I think it is a great option.
Are you allowed to fly drones out there?
You are not.
I was going to say,
no.
That would be so sweet to
the footage would be amazing, especially the Tetons lend themselves to drone of like zooming in and zooming out and getting the whole scale of everything. But drones are not legal in any national parks.
Okay.
So National Forests, Bureau of Land Management, USGS, you can do that. Now I have former coworkers and friends who live in Africa, and they use drones for anti-poaching initiatives in wild spaces. So totally different set of rules, totally different threats going on.
Right.
But a cool piece of tech that they can use to do that. But out here, you can't fly them.
Now I know you were talking about Yellowstone, but that goes for the Teton, the Grand Teton Park too? That's a national park. Okay. I couldn't remember if that was a national park or not. Okay.
Yeah.
And
plus,
Yellowstone
part of Grand Teton has the airport is inside of it.
That's right.
So they're like, I really don't want you to fly drones right into the airport either.
I didn't even think about that, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we flew in there. I should have known.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, man. I know you've flown in there. You've had to have. It is like the fastest landing you'll ever do because you only have so much and the quickest takeoff.
Yes, the runway is very short because they built that airport before the park got that big, and so the planes needed this much room.
Right.
Now that we have a direct flight from Dallas Fort Worth, the plane that they're hauling people in here on needs this much room. Mm-hmm. So it's not a hey, congratulations, you just got enough hours in flight school, fly a big plane into Jackson Hole. This is not like first timers.
Right.
These are folks who are like, I'm used to flying in mountain weather and I'm used to hitting the brakes really hard. But it is amazing to fly in.
Oh yeah, we flew in from Dallas, but we were on an Airbus, so it wasn't as big as the plane. Obviously, the plane that we came from Orlando, but when I heard Airbus, because I'm not really like fly savvy, like I'm like, I just know you get on a big plane, that's it. I don't fly a lot, so you hear Airbus, I'm like, what is that? Is that like one of those with the propeller? Like,
like puddle jumper, like Flight of Phoenix style? We're gonna be like on the wings.
Yeah, it's a glider. You're just hanging on. Your luggage is behind you. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, it was awesome. That airport is really cool. It's like, I think it's got 3 terminals, maybe.
No, we did some updates, so I think we're up to like 5 or 6 now.
Okay.
Gates, not terminals. There's one terminal.
Okay, so there's one.
Yeah. It's one long room, and there's like 5 gates. Yeah, so it's not as though you'd be like, oh, which gate am I flying out of? 1 or 6? I have to run. Nope, I can see number 6 over there. There's the end of the building. Yeah. And
one of the best parts was going out onto the tarmac to get on the plane. Was my favorite. Getting off, you kind of felt like you were a rock star, like you kind of snuck in the back way, and you didn't have to go in through the airport. But then you still got to go to the airport because you got to get your stuff. But the baggage claim was like super chill.
Yeah, there's not a big long conversation of like, well, which baggage claim we got to go down a level and over here. It's like there's 2. Yeah, and it's either this one or that one. So you're either facing this way and this one lights up, or vice versa.
It's not like OIA where you got two different A and a B. And Duto Realty is a homegrown business with an eye for getting the job done right. From football games to Sunday school and everything in between, these ladies care about our community and the people in it, helping buyers and sellers in all of Florida with all types of transactions, including residential, commercial, farm, or vacant land. They do it all. They even offer auction services and sellouts to always get the job done right. So,
I mean, before COVID, I don't know if they've started it up again, but they used to do mimosas when you landed at Jackson Hole.
Okay.
Like, welcome to Jackson Hole.
Oh, they didn't do that.
Here's some booze.
Yeah.
Which I have no evidence of this, but my conspiracy theory is that is just a part of the like Jackson Hole, like tourism something, that everyone's like, how'd you feel about Jackson Hole? And the first memory that they have was being just a little tipsy at elevation when they drove in. Like, this place is great. I love it here. Yeah. I have no way to prove that, but I think that's got to be part of it.
Yeah. That's like, it's kind of like when you go to, I've never been to Hawaii, but when people say you go to Hawaii and they give you the lei, that's, right. I've heard of people just going for that. And I'm like, Hawaii's pretty great itself. I wouldn't need the lei, but it is what it is.
We need something a little more Wyoming. We need like some like whiskey and a elk leg or something, like an elk slider or something.
Speaking of food, what's your favorite restaurant? Favorite restaurant in Jackson Hole?
Favorite restaurant. I'm gonna go by time of day for breakfast. Grab and go breakfast. I like Cowboy Coffee.
Okay.
Locally owned shop. They've got 2. They've got like a downtown location and one south of town. For lunch and brunch, I either go to a place called Cafe Genevieve, which is just off the town square, kind of like Cajun-esque a little bit, a little more meat heavy. And then another spot that I really love is owned by this guy, Nick, local guy. It's a butcher shop. Okay. It's called Sweet Cheeks. Okay. And he just does here are the regional meat cuts that I have today. And based on that, we're doing Korean short rib barbecue, or we're doing empanadas, or we're doing whatever. Okay. And so you can follow them on Instagram, Sweet Cheeks Meats. And it's like, they just post on their story that day, like, this is what we're making. Come by if you want. And if you don't, don't come by. Right. Because there's not like a laundry list. And then for dinner, being a fan of like mountain food, there's actually really good like Nepalese, which is like, the original mountain food in the Himalaya, called Momo Shack. That's really good. And then date night, go to a place called Bin 22, little tapas, kind of shareable wine bar kind of place.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been to one of those places. I went to the Cowboy Coffee.
Yeah.
That was the one in downtown. Well, yeah, downtown.
Probably
I think
downtown,
it's yeah. Right across from Teton.
Yep.
Teton Pizza. Yeah.
Yeah.
We went there. Teton
that
Pizza.
place is good. Handfire pizza's good. Yep.
Yeah, they got the wood fire pizzas. That was good. We did the Cowboy Bar. Which was a great steak. They have elk there, an elk steak.
They do.
I don't think I got it. I think I wanted it, but I don't think I got it. I was like, it's one of those, you only get one chance and I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah. There's, elk is a very common thing to have out here.
Right.
Of course, all the elk that we have at the restaurant is coming from a ranch. None of it is commercially sold here. You cannot sell game meat commercially in the United States.
Right.
So even like the bison or whatever. But elk is it's part of our culture. You get to Jackson Hole, there's the archways, that are on the square, which those antlers fall off the animals. We didn't kill all those animals.
Right.
To make the archways there. But yeah, elk's a big one. Actually, I'm gonna have elk steak tonight.
Nice.
Yeah.
The archway you're talking about, that's one of the first things you walk into at the airport from the tarmac is the actual, like a mini version of that.
Yeah, that's right. They have one at the airport.
Yeah, because I saw it and I go, wait, I thought that was downtown. Like, you know what I mean? Like it starts, you kind of like starts to blend everything in, and then you get there and they've got them on all four corners of that square, which is where we got to see Santa. Santa was there. He was cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
Snow on the ground. Santa was there. Cowboy Bar that night. And then we went to, oh man, I can't think of the place. It's down from the Cowboy Bar. But it's another like a bar and grill type deal. But just other than that, we just cooked stuff at the house, then we had Thanksgiving dinner there. One of the things that we talked about as our family, that we were kind of like, oh, that's kind of weird is no plastic bags in the state of Wyoming. I mean, for obvious reasons, but they had no plastic bags, and you had to buy your paper bag at the store, or unless if you don't, it's like Sam's Club. You have to carry everything out by hand.
Yeah.
Can I get a box? Something?
Yeah.
Porter, somebody.
Yeah. A few places here have started doing the cardboard shipping boxes or whatever that, they get all their goods in.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following. Webster Ace Hardware and Farm Supply are generous sponsors for today's podcast. They have been a family-owned business for 27 years. This helpful hardware store sells items such as archery, Ariat clothing and boots, Wrangler jeans, case knives, Hammond's candies, and live fishing wear. They also have a full selection of hardware, RV supply, propane, Ben Moore, Royal & Clark, and Kenningston paints. You need a barn or fencing job done? Custom barn kits and roofing metal are provided at your local Ace Hardware store. What about a new grill for the yard? Traeger, Big Green Egg, Weber, and Blackstone are found here, along with all the accessories to go with them. Stock up your workshop with DeWalt, Milwaukee, or Craftsman tools. They got you covered. Remember to go to ace.com to shop their entire line to have items shipped directly to the store.
You can, waddle out with.
I'm gonna look that up real quick. What's the place we went to? It's gonna kill me if not. But other than that, Jackson Hole was it was pretty awesome, and I highly suggest anybody go. We're not skiers. I mean, we could try, but of course they were starting at the Teton Village. They were starting to get the snow ready. Like the weekend we left is when it opened, so we missed it by a weekend.
Let's
see. It's called the Gather Inn.
Oh, Gather, yeah.
Been there?
Yeah.
It's not bad.
They do good work there too.
It's not bad. Yeah. Let's see. What else I have for you? We got to talk about the grizzly bear that just passed. Did they ever figure out what it was? Was it a car? Did a car hit it?
Yeah, she was struck by a vehicle. There's not been details of like what make and model it was.
Gotcha.
But yeah, 399, the queen of the Tetons. She has passed. Yeah. So
how many offspring did she have?
18.
18 cubs. Wow.
18 cubs. And in 2020, she had 4 cubs. So that boosted numbers.
Okay.
Yeah. So for folks that don't know, she was kind of like a matriarch for us out here. She was this bear that at some level tolerated people, and so many people have stories of her. Like I even have, past guests that are like, I just got another 399 tattoo. It's like she changes lives.
Oh, wow.
For sure.
That's cool.
I've had guests like full waterworks tears the first time they ever get to see her. And she helped inspire a lot of like grizzly bear conservation, preservation of wild spaces as kind of like an icon of the West. And yeah, this October 22nd, I think if I have that right, she was south of the park, out of the park boundary, and just like wrong place, wrong time at night. The person, I used to live down in that part of Wyoming, and it's so dark. There's no highway lights or anything. So the person it's a 55 mile an hour speed limit through there. So the person didn't do anything wrong. Right. I would, police report or whatever else. I really hope that person's name never gets out, because it wasn't malicious or anything. It was just like, it's a crappy way for an animal to die, but it is what it is. But we're sad to see her go, for sure.
Right. And you don't want to be responsible for, even if it was a total accident, you don't want to be responsible for something like that iconic of an area, to be tagged for that, no pun intended, but to be, like responsible for that incident.
Yeah, totally. And she gave so much to the park. She was 28 years old, which is super old for a wild bear.
Right.
So, her time was coming, but it just was a bummer that it ended that way, and not, but, and I don't mean to be like insensitive about this, but, I think some people were saying like, I wish she died peacefully, in the den. And it's like, absolutely. And, a wild animal's death is probably, preceded by like cancer or liver failure or starvation or sepsis or like something not fun. Right. And so, I don't know if I'm just like bargaining or trying to make something better out of this, but I kind of hope in Wyoming we have a lot of trucks. Yeah. And I hope it was just a big F-250 Super Duty, and I hope that she died really fast. Right. And I'm not trying to say I want her to be dead. I'm just saying I hope that it was fast.
Just quick.
It's done.
Yeah.
Just
she
quick,
didn't suffer. Right.
Exactly. Same thing. Like, same thing as hunting. Every good ethical hunter is like, I would like to harvest that animal, and I hope that I can do that as fast as possible.
Well, it would be no different from like if you had a dog and it ran out into the road, you wouldn't want it to come back like crawling back to your house and die with you. You'd want it to be quick, and where it's like when it happens to humans, you're like, they had no idea what was going on, and that's like the perfect way to do it, because it's going to happen. Just how it happens is what we can't control. And, but I can't imagine driving down the road at 55. Well, I don't know if I could be saying I would be doing 55, but if there was wildlife out there, I would probably be doing the speed limit or somewhere near it. I sure wouldn't be doing 80, but come out and see a bear in the road and be like, oh my gosh, and you don't have time to react.
And bears they're dark colored.
Yeah.
So it's like even if the beams are hitting them a little ways down the road, you're not doing that. Like when I lived down there, I installed a very obnoxious light bar into the grill of my truck because I had to be at work at 5 a.m. And I would just blast the road.
Right.
When no one else was coming the other way. But just because it was like it's an elk migrational corridor, there's mountain goats and all kinds of stuff down in there. So it's just like I just want to give myself as much time to know that they're there. So with 399, it's sad, really sad to see her life end that way. It was cool. I was invited to speak, and I felt super honored about this at like a little town memorial
that's cool.
that we had in the park. It was just cool. Like I was handing out, some like pamphlets at the beginning, and I was asking folks like, "Hey, where are you from?" And folks were like, "We're from Salt Lake." And I was like, "Oh, cool." And then it's like, "And we're from Sacramento and Portland and Seattle and then now we're from New York City and we're from the other Portland, Maine, and like we flew here." Right. We're here because we wanted to be with people who cared about that bear so much in this place.
Well, it was, like you said, it was an iconic, I don't want to say character, but like an iconic being for the city of Jackson Hole, for that area, surrounding area. But, also, I mean, I think it was you that said, or maybe I read this somewhere. She was like one of the most photographed grizzlies.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So so everybody's got like, I mean, you can see, like I was watching nature show, right? And you're watching. There'll be like 1,000. I was just watching something about Antarctica, and there's like 2 million on this remote island, not Antarctica because it's huge, but on this little island, they had 2 million penguins, chin strap penguins. And you can't get on this island by boat. There's no like level ground. It's all rocky, right? Yeah. So the mom leaves and grabs the what is it called? The shrimp krill.
Oh yeah.
And it's trying to get back on, and the journey of just her going back is like amazing. All the cinematography of it. But anyways, she gets back, and now you got to find.
Yeah, like
how do you know which kid's yours? But not only that, they showed an elephant seal, and they showed this one like he gets in with a bunch of other elephant seals. I'm like, how do you keep them apart? They're not. You want to believe that they're talking about the same one. Like, here's Reggie, the elephant seal. He's young. He's a young bull, or not a bull yet, but he's young. He's a young calf, or whatever they're called. And then it goes down the beach a little bit, and there's 4,700 other ones.
Sure.
I mean, unless they're tagged. That's what I'm saying. Like, at least you have a distinguished. This bear is it. This ain't another bear.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think it's funny.
I will say, with her being so famous and so many people being interested in her, and kind of like, that's the bear that's in Wyoming. There was definitely times where you're like, she does not go to Yellowstone.
Yeah.
There would be times you'd be in Yellowstone and people would be like, "Oh, we just saw 399 over here," and I'm like, "Great, you didn't at all," but like, sweet. I'm not gonna crush that dream. If you ask me and you show me a picture and we go down that rabbit hole, like I'm a former elementary school teacher. You bet I will crush your dreams on that one. I'm gonna give you the truth. But if you're just like, "Hey, we just saw 399," be like, "Great, congratulations! I'm super pumped for you. That's really cool."
They're like, "I just saw Elvis."
Yeah.
You're like, what? You're like, you got a better chance of that, huh?
Yeah.
I told my wife I was going to have you on, and we were talking about our trip, and like I said earlier, and we were talking about how we always give my son a hard time, my stepson a hard time. He's the one that when you said, "Can I get you guys anything?" And he's like, "Yeah, can I get some Kool-Aid?"
Some Kool-Aid. Yeah. That's right.
And we're like, and he's like, he just turned 11, so he was like, Guys, what I meant was, I thought he said, "Does anybody want Kool-Aid?" And I was like, "No, that's not what he said." He asked, "Does anybody want something to drink?" And you gave a specific.
I will take one Kool-Aid. I'll take two if you got them.
I was like, I've always thought you of as a Capri Sun kid, man. I didn't know. He's kind of bougie, but he was, when he said Kool-Aid, it threw us all off. We still crack up to we still laugh about that. And it'll be something I hope when he's 30 years old, he'll never forget. The tour guide asked if we wanted something to drink, and I asked for Kool-Aid, and he's like, and then your reaction was priceless. You're like, what?
What?
I don't have Kool-Aid, buddy.
I got a couple other things, but nothing that's going to be like really close to the Kool-Aid request. I mean, the customer is never wrong, right? But I don't have it.
Whether your water is supplied by a public municipality or a private well, for residential or commercial use, Purified Water Services LLC has the solutions to provide you with simply clean water. We offer a complete line of professional water filtration equipment and accessories. Soft water makes a difference you can see and feel. Water heater and appliances last longer with less maintenance. Iron and H2S filters eliminate iron stains and offensive rotten egg odors, and protects your water softener equipment from iron fouling. No matter what your problem is, Purified Water Services LLC has a solution. Contact Kenny Williams at 352-446-2709. So maybe from now on, you need to keep just like 2 Kool-Aid jammers in there. You never know.
Sometimes we get funny requests like that. Like guests will be bringing like their own brand of sweet tea or something. That's like, okay, they're like really specific about that thing, and that's like part of their routine. Like, sweet. The one fun thing, thinking of like those funny requests, are it doesn't happen a ton. Actually, I think it happens more in the wintertime. We get folks who are going to propose on our trips.
Oh, wow.
Which is super fun because, whoever's asking kind of like gets in touch with the office and says like, this is my goal of the trip, is to hopefully not get rejected. And so, they're like, okay, here's the guide's phone number ahead of time. The guide will kind of send like, do you want location A, B, or C, and kind of do some of those fun things. And then, we try to bring like champagne or, and then we have orange juice, or we try to like just build that moment up for people.
Right.
But it's always so funny because in like the texting or maybe I'll call the person who's asking ahead of time, they'll basically say like, okay, we want location B. That looks great. The code word is, like, I'm going to go look at these tracks. And that's the like, whatever, because what they're asking essentially is like, will you like leave? Because I'm about to ask the person who I care about the most in the world, like the most intense, like tipping point of our relationship. I don't need some like random bearded dude just like standing next to me like, hey, what are you guys talking about? They're like, can you just like remove yourself in a sneaky, non-obvious way? So sometimes I've left and with permission, have filmed them asking.
That's awesome.
So, it's like, I hopefully it's like full Tetons, obviously no one else around. I take them to kind of, secret spots and it's like, they kind of get that moment.
I can see you doing they're like, all right, we're going to go check out these tracks, and you just do a burnout.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm out.
Or I'll pick you up over here.
And she's looking at him like, he just left us.
Yeah.
That's a great setup. That's a great setup.
Build it up.
Right.
You're like, well, we're out here in the wild. We better get married because this is it. This is our life now.
Bro, I had, when I worked at Disney, I had several people ask me if they could help me or help them do a proposal. And I was gung ho until the very last one I did, because after this, I didn't do it anymore. Yeah. So we're at Magic Kingdom, and inside Cinderella's castle, there is a restaurant, on the first floor. The lobby's on the first floor, and then the restaurant itself is on the second floor. So he's like, I'm like, I got you, bro. Don't worry. And he told me he was going to come. He gave me the whole, the logistics of it, like you said. Mm-hmm. And the time comes, and I'm like, oh, yeah, come in here. I just walked up to him like I randomly selected this, two people come up and I want to show y'all something. So I took them into the lobby, and Cinderella was in there, and I forgot who else was in there, but it was a full house. And this guy gets down on one knee and he holds this ring out and he's like, will you marry me? And she said, no. And I thought, oh, no. No. Oh my God. Like I started like wiping the wall, like,
yeah,
I didn't belong there. So she was like, he was like, no. And she's like, I would have been like, yes. And then can we talk about this later? Not in front of everybody. You like we talked about vulnerability. You were so vulnerable at that moment. You're like, oh yeah, I'm putting you talk about elk and grizzly putting all their chips in a bag or whatever.
Yeah.
You put all your chips on that bet. It's a gamble. And when she says no, you had it all in red and black hits.
I've never had a no, so I can't imagine.
Neither have I. Yeah. So after that, I was like, no more. Yeah. And they would come up, and I'd be like, you should probably go to guest relations, and they might be able to hook you up. But I quit doing it after that because I felt so bad for him, but not just that. I mean, he was embarrassed. Like there's a ton of people in there. He even got a Disney character in there, and nobody could hear it first. And they're like, "What'd you say?"
Yeah,
and they're like, "Wait." They're like, I'm like, shut up. Just go back to what you were doing. This never happened.
Disperse. Yeah. We'll never talk about this.
For almost 30 years, 75 Chrome Shop has been a family-run business with a dedicated team of longtime employees. We stay ahead of the curve in the ever-changing trucking industry, providing top-notch customer service and product knowledge. Whether you're looking for the latest chrome accessories or hard-to-find parts, we've got you covered. We offer aftermarket chrome for all big rigs, custom vinyl lettering, acrylic signs, and tags. Our 10,000 square foot facility, the oldest chrome shop in the South, houses a mechanic shop for oil and tire changes and chrome installation. Plus, we have a huge selection of lights for every vehicle on the road. Don't miss our annual truck show every April featuring over 200 trucks and family-friendly entertainment. Visit 75 Chrome Shop today, your truck's new best friend.
Yeah. I've only had one that was like more of a group.
Oh yeah,
that like the whole big family was in on it, except for her. But otherwise, it's just been couples, which I think helps. Just in the like, it's just you two.
Yes,
you're out there versus like we're in a very public place,
right?
With everybody can watch,
right?
I mean, dealer's choice on that, but like definitely. I know if I asked my wife, like in a very public place, she'd be like, "You haven't been paying attention." Like this is not what I would have wanted. I asked her in the middle of in a sagebrush field in Wyoming with nobody else around. So it was like, know your audience a little bit.
Good deal. Yeah. My wife, when I asked her, she was like, yes, get up. 'Cause we were at Disney, and not in a park, but we were at a hotel, and I picked this little area, and it was getting dark, and there was like not many people around, but I thought it was perfect. And I was very adamant. She knew something was up because I was very adamant about going to this fountain by the outside of the hotel. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and you could see it from dinner. I'm like, you see that fountain down there? You like that fountain? Like I was kind of, I think I oversold what I was trying to do.
She's like, why is he so interested in fountains tonight? Yeah.
She was like, I knew something was up when you kept asking about that freaking fountain. And I'm like, yeah. And she said yes. And then But then she was like, get up, get up, get up, get up. Like look around.
Sure.
I'm like, of course, you're like, let me get back up. And
let me get back up here. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. You got to stretch a little bit. You're like, hold on. You didn't give me time to stretch it out.
I thought I was going to be down there a while.
Yeah. Well, hey, Bo, I appreciate your time, bro. I just, we can't wait to come back. Seriously, if anybody's watching this out there thinking going that, hey, let's go to Wyoming. And what do we do? Like when you go somewhere like that, you always Google what to do. What are the top 10 things to do in Wyoming or Jackson Hole? And Bo, as a wildlife tour guide, is definitely one of them. I highly recommend it. I could give you 5 stars or 10 stars, 11 stars, whatever. We had a great time. Make sure you ask for Kool-Aid.
I get the Kool-Aid. Yep. Just say it's a Kool-Aid trip and I'll know what that means.
If you ever get a Kool-Aid, I want you to be like, that was you, wasn't
it? Yeah, for sure.
So because you never know.
Yeah.
But I wish you the best of luck. And like I said, if we get a chance to come back, which we're jonesing for it. We're already having withdrawals. It's been a year. So
First time you get in a big adult dose. And then you just kind of think about it until you come back.
Absolutely.
And I'll say to the folks, who have never been here before, is like, do a little research into like, what do you want to do? Mm-hmm. Or like maybe like species, I guess you might want to see because sometimes like it is weird, like road closures on when Yellowstone's open versus not, and like different other things like that. So happy to field any of those questions if they reach out to me on social media.
Right.
Because sometimes it is kind of an odd place to get to know if you're doing it from afar.
Do you want to throw out your Instagram so they can follow you and see what?
My Instagram is Bo BO _ knows KNOWS _ outside. That's me.
Cool. And I'll definitely tag you and the Instagram. You don't have Facebook or X, do you?
I have a Facebook, same thing. You just search Bo Knows Outside. Yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I'll definitely tag you on Facebook.
Sweet.
But yeah, like I said, thank you for your time. And I hope you have a good Thanksgiving and holidays coming up, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yeah. Hey, we'll be here anytime.
All right, guys. That was our show for today with my special guest, Bo Welden. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and I want to thank all our sponsors for their support. Without their help and gifts, this is not possible. So again, thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And until next time, we'll see you later. Bye, guys.